No, that's impossible. There's no way it could possibly be that time.
It is that time. Haas is joining us today. Very excited to see you, Haas.
Thank you. Very excited to be here.
You sound excited.
I am excited.
Your hair looks good. I was telling him earlier because he had a hat on. I said, ditch the hat, even though I like the hat, but you have good hair, so why not show it? We were talking about some hashtag that I'm unaware of. I didn't see it yet today, but you're going to fill us in about YouTube ends party? Or
YouTube is over.
What is this?
Hashtag YouTube is over party.
What is this?
So over the weekend, a lot of YouTube creators started getting a bunch of notifications from YouTube informing them that their videos were now being demonetized, meaning that they couldn't monetize off their videos anymore. They couldn't have pre-rolls on those videos for different rules and regulations like
cussing, saying sex stuff.
Cussing, explicit imagery, controversial subjects, even if there isn't any sort of explicit visual content on it. So even if you're even talking about a controversial subject,
you're communicating like sympathy for someone in a natural disaster.
Yeah.
Natural disasters are off limits.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And it completely gets demonetized or just some of it?
No. Well, like the parts that have been monetized already before the system gets to it, you can still pocket that. However, once the system is aware that this video has some sort of sensitive subject matter, they'll immediately demonetize it.
Whoa.
Now, everyone started freaking out. Philip DeFranco had an awesome video about it where he explains it basically.
And you also see him get news in real time.
Yeah.
As he's shooting his video, he's like, well, my assistant's on the phone with YouTube now, trying to make sure that my producer's on the phone with YouTube right now. We're trying to see if it's just because of swearing or if it's content, but he's like, I'm sure it's just because of swearing. And then it like has a cut and he's like, wow, she just got off the phone with YouTube and it totally did not have to do with swearing. Like a little bit had to do with the news that we were reporting.
That affects a lot of livelihoods.
A lot of it. No, a lot of it has to do with the news you're reporting. We have, I mean, the numbers are incredible. We've had, I think, 400 videos being taken, 400 videos being demonetized. Oh, in the year 2015 alone. In 2014, it was 600. So one of the recent ones is just about Syrian refugees. Like, we can't even report on crises.
And we know why, right? We know why. It's because people who are putting ad dollars into YouTube, they put it into a bucket. If it's generally going to be assigned to some video or another, those people who are sponsoring it then click through on their free time and find that they put money behind a video that had a ton of swearing, and their brand is not friendly to that. So if you're YouTube, it makes tons of sense to be like, guys, stop doing these things that aren't user-friendly or aren't ad-friendly. You want money, don't you?
Yeah.
You want to live off this. If you do, well, then scale it back. No. And this is going to be that first. I mean, it isn't first. It just like today got the critical mass to have its own hashtag.
But it's because they started informing people. So now a lot of people reached out to YouTube, and they said that they haven't changed anything about their policies in general. That this demonetization had been happening for God knows how long. They're just now informing people that their videos are being demonetized, and they have an appeals process set in place. So this is actually a good thing that it happened. So because now we're aware that YouTube has been demonetizing videos.
But like, I want to know the moment I'm not making money off something anymore.
And they weren't informing.
So can you sue to say, listen, we're in an agreement where, but I don't know how explicit it is in the agreement that you are secure in knowing that you will get money from any given video, because it depends. They say basically, you won't have every video be monetized. If an ad runs, then you get a bump, but if not, it's a lower amount. So it's just very strange. And I know that they're trying to do it because YouTube is making these giant deals with people, and their buyers are upset. And they're trying to clear it up. And it sucks, though.
But it just needs to be very transparent. Now that it's transparent, people can alter whether or not they're going to cuss or not. Now, as far as content, whether it's
subject matter,
sensitive subject matters,
really
that's
tricky.
BS. That's because that's tricky. There's a lot of gray area.
I mean, but that's the thing.
But if you're talking about Syrian refugees,
I don't want to have my brand associated with Syrian refugees.
Okay, so you have to see it from the advertising. You have to see it from the advertising standpoint.
If you look at it from an advertising standpoint, it's like you're buying a big pool of content and you don't necessarily know where it's going, right? So if you're a Clorox brand, you might not necessarily want to have your brand be represented in front of a video about Syrian refugee babies dying.
But if it's about murder, Clorox helps get rid of the evidence. So that's the kind of thing you want it to be associated
I have a question for both of you. I don't know if anyone here has the answer, but you mentioned an appeals process. Do we know anything about how that works? And for example, what if someone were to put
Grace, you seem very scared for your personal YouTube channel.
No,
don't worry, you're subject.
I'm just asking about the appeals process, and then also you mentioned about sensitive content. Would it help if you put a disclaimer before a video? Will that change anything?
I don't think the advertisers.
No.
They don't even care.
The advertisers don't want to put it in front of sensitive content. That's why there's this system set in place where like an automatic algorithm figures out if something is sensitive, whether by looking at tags or through certain content ID sounds that they pick up from a video, if it's cursing, for example. And
could there be an algorithm developed where it assigns certain brands that are okay with sensitive
absolutely.
So then is that not being applied right now?
So then it just kicks it over to the individual YouTubers to find their own advertisers.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And that's harder to do. And there are MCNs out there that help you with all that. The people that you probably watch the most are part of a larger studio that has people that go find, that go buy or sell ads against your stuff. You're just going to have to not rely as much on YouTube if you want it to be racy, or if you're Jenna Marbles, for example. She's kind of screwed by all this because she's frequently sexually suggestive.
You have to be brand friendly. You have to be brand friendly.
But what's interesting is, judging by what YouTube has said so far, they were already doing this. They've been doing this. They've been demonetizing videos. They just weren't letting people know. So if you were so what I'm trying to say is, if you're a YouTuber out there and you were making, let's say, $3,000 a month off of your YouTube account, next month you're not going to make $1,000 if your growth rate is the exact same, or if you have a similar amount of views, you're still going to make that money. The reason why is because YouTube has already been demonetizing it. You might even make more money now in the long run
because you're aware.
Because you're aware of it.
You can be more savvy.
And there's two outcomes that are positive from this. One is one is either because of this backlash, they might change their policy a little bit, or because you're aware of it, now you can. And there's an appeals process. Now you can appeal and make more money off of those older videos that still accrue a lot of views.
Yeah, there's definitely appeals processes in place for other content ID software that YouTube's been running.
Yeah.
So if you use a clip, for example, YouTube automatically goes through it and checks it. If, depending on your monetization and how you classify your channel, they'll either be like, you're not monetized anymore, or they'll notify the owner and say, someone's using your stuff, how do you want to proceed? What YouTube wants the most is to just take a step back and not have YouTube be the one judging one way or another, specifically most often in legal issues, such as like using other people's videos. But more with this, they just want to be able to say, we have a system in place that, as much as is possible, assures our sponsors that when they buy ads that fall into a certain category of like family friendliness, that they can be sure that those videos that their ads run on are for that kind of brand identity.
Interesting. Wow. Well, we do have a show that we need to get to.
Boo!
But we will not swear during that show.
We will do our best. We will do our darn best to not swear. Okay?
Amir's
Everybody, yes?
in the corner. Amir's like, yes.